Hello everybody, it's me as always, funkdoc, and we have a Power Grid 5-player game this time on the USA map. This one has no green, so this is actually the same map config we had in our last USA 5-player game on this channel. But this time we have a much more experienced set of players overall. It's me, Mastaba, amitss1, the Wishmaker, and JVis. JVis is rather new to the game, but he's very enthusiastic. He's constantly on, obsessively learning the game from the veterans on here. And he's willing to play a lot of 2-player in particular. I've been teaching him a lot about 1v1 off-channel. So yeah, JVis has been learning a lot from us. Just he's still getting the hang of the larger multiplayer games. He kind of has a habit of overbuying resources when he doesn't need to, something he picked up from 2-player. Because that's something you do a lot in 2-player. Not so much in the larger games, though. Alright, there's 26, our first randomized plant to show up, and that's a doozy. I think I'm not going to bid. I'm not going to bid on any of this stuff. I expect Mastaba might bid 6 for the 5 plant here, just for, you know, to get a decent build order. But I don't think it's worth it. I agree. I pass. 5 is fine at its list price, but not anymore as a starting plant, I think, usually. Germany, I would say, tends to be an exception. So 8 versus 9. So this is where we're going to show something. So in a 5-player game, you can start with the 10 plant, and people get tempted by that. But when other players have the 4, the 5, and the 8, I actually think the 9 is a better starting plant than the 10. Because I think 9 gives you more flexibility because you can just build 1 city and still get full value from your plant, whereas the 10 requires you to build 2 cities. And coal is really expensive when you're the last player to buy coal, especially after the 8, no less, because coal's restock rate is not any higher in a 5-player versus 4-player, at least in Step 1. In Step 2, it's higher, but not Step 1. So that's another factor here. So I just don't like the 10 as a starting plant. I think it's much better suited as a turn 2 plant. I might arguably have bought a second oil there, but I actually don't think so. I don't think I buy the second oil because there's a chance that I'll buy a bigger plant next turn and not run the 9 at all. So I don't want that extra oil sitting on there on a plant that I'm potentially not even using next turn. Although 23 coming onto the market blocks things pretty decently. 27 going under the deck is not great. 20 is a plant that will be bought in turn 2. And actually, I might be one of the players better suited to handle the 20 because I have an efficient plant I can run for turn 2 instead of running the 20. Wishmaker is an interesting choice for that build. I would go Oklahoma City myself. Kansas City does make sense, though. The problem is, like, all the bordering cities are places people would potentially start. See, like, right there. Although, this means that Omaha should be safe for Wishmaker on turn 2 if they want it. Mastaba goes for the safe West Coast build. That's reasonable. Anyway, for me, in this situation, I think I'll go Oklahoma City. I think that's my option. I'll try to force Wishmaker like north and east. instead of getting all this stuff to themselves. Because I feel like these two players in these areas, like that's a reasonable amount of space for the two of them. I don't feel the need to fight the two of them there. Yeah, I think I'll do this. This is kind of risky because I'm building next to a player who will be lower than me in the turn order. But I think it should be okay. I think Wishmaker will want St. Louis first, probably. St. Louis and Omaha would be more pressing concerns, I think, than Dallas. There's a couple ways I could play this. I could bid on 13. I could. I'll bid on this once. Now in 5-player, people tend to go for the bigger capacity plants, but I do think there's a bit of a leak there that you can take advantage of playing for efficiency. JVis, now JVis, the fact that he's below me in the turn order and is bidding on this, that's enough to get me to pass. I think. Yeah, okay. I have to think here. Okay. 21. Okay. I don't mind getting the 20 that cheap because what I'm going to do now is stay at one city, just run the 9 again, and then wait for next turn for my opportunity to get... Actually, I could just store coal this turn. I could buy some coal this turn, potentially. Potentially. Amit's buying the 6 right away. Interesting. Trash does restock more quickly in 5-player. It's 2 per turn in step 1. Compared to 1 per turn in all smaller games. Wishmaker. This is a tough spot. If I were Wishmaker, I mean, I think you just have to buy the 10. Yeah, the 10 I think is the clear choice here. So I got the 20 for 22 Electros. I'll take that. In 5-player, it tends to be worth it, more so than in smaller games. Capacity is rewarded much more in this game size. I will be looking for an efficient 4 capacity plant, though, to pair with this so that I won't have to run the 20 during step 1. I'll be on the lookout for any opportunity for that. I'll take the oil and the last... actually, let me think about this. Think. 5 coal comes back in. I think I just do this. I think I just take the $3 coal here. Amitss, I think, doesn't need to buy extra coal because he's going to go bottom in the turn order. No, he'll buy 1 coal. Interesting play. Didn't quite see that coming. And Mastaba, I figured, was not going to store any extra coal because he'll go low in the turn order as well. But I'm going to stay at 1 city right now. JVis takes Cincinnati, which I think is definitely the correct play over Detroit. Even though it costs $1 more, it gives you access to Knoxville. So there's a little more value there. It's pretty much the same in other regards. Okay, Wishmaker builds to 3. Okay. There's Omaha and Kansas City both at the same time. I don't agree with that play. I think just St. Louis would be fine. Omaha is not as important, honestly. So let me think about this. I should be able to do this, right? Oh yeah, I can easily build a 3. So my plan there was try to store as much coal as I can and build to 3 this turn. That's what I was thinking. I mean, I obviously know I cannot bid on the 26 at all. But there's plenty of other players in the game. People will bid this up to a fair price, which for turn 3, I'd say is in the 35 to 40 range. Wishmaker jacks it right up to 35. JVis goes even higher than that. Mastaba's going to, because Mastaba hasn't bought a second plant, he should have a good amount of money. So I feel like he should be the favorite to win this plant. Mastaba. Yep. And after that, another dud. Okay. That's a very fair price for 26 at this stage of the game, though. Still, only the third turn means you can't afford to pay as much for it as you would even like just a turn or two later. Wishmaker buys 23. I don't know about this. I kind of get it because Cole's gonna suck for them up top, but yeah. 28. I would like to have 28 later, but I can't buy it now. I cannot buy this now. JVis and amitss, though, they can buy this. They can buy this plant. It's not going to be great right now because of 23 in the game, but you will get 2 uranium coming back in per turn. So uranium will stay consistent at the $7, $8 prices with 2 players using a nuclear plant each turn. 32. amitss might buy this. I can't touch this. Like, I have to build a 3 this turn to justify my 20 purchase. Like, if I were to buy 32 right now, I'd have to just stay at 1 city again, and that's just death. You just will not make enough money to make up the deficit there. And amitss does the same thing. amitss doesn't even buy 32. Unfortunately, I can't quite afford 18. I can't build to 3. I can't build to 3 with 18 is my problem here. So this game could potentially set up for a stall, but I just don't think I can buy anything. Yeah. Now I just buy as much coal as I can and build a 3. That's all I do. 14 bucks, spend, and $1 too much, so we do this. Even being able to store 1 extra coal is actually doing pretty well for this. I think I might put 18 up for bid next turn, though. Maybe. Emmett really wants Detroit right now. That is the most important city for him at this stage, for sure. He wants to be able to threaten the cheap East Coast here. Detroit's his first step breaking into that. In fact, he might even be able to afford Detroit and Buffalo, which would be pretty sweet for his building situation. Now, I would really like to grab Santa Fe after this build, but that would not allow me to build to 5 on the next turn. All right. Okay, amitss just gets Detroit, which is fine. Mastaba gets his all-important third city. So when you have when you get a 5 capacity plant on turn 2 or 3, your goal is to power 3 cities on the third turn of the game. That should give you enough money to build to 5 on the next turn after that. In my case, not quite as much, though. Actually, I still get to build before Wishmaker. Oh, this is interesting. Now I don't even need Santa Fe. 32 is going to get bought by somebody this turn, that's for sure. Mastaba can't afford it, but he'll put it up for bid because someone else will want it. That someone ain't going to be me, though. amitss can bid, though. Now amitss can bid for 32. Yeah. Wow. Okay, holy shit. 34 actually makes it out of the market. Oh, we're going to get one of those games, I see. What's funny is there's a non-zero chance of 38 making it onto the market. I want this. Even if it means staying at 3 cities for another turn, I want this. Problem is... I maybe shouldn't have been so hasty to click, though. Wishmaker should bid for this, though. Mastaba, I think, needs to get out of this auction as well. Even as amazing as this plant is this early in the game, it's also really expensive for this early in the game. And there's 2 other nuclear plants out there being used. This plant makes the most sense for Wishmaker because it effectively replaces 23 at this point. This is worth a little bit of bidding in case the market stalls after this, though. 36 gets out of the market. Games. I was surprised Wishmaker didn't bid more for 34, though. Well, 36, right? Right, Wishmaker? 36. 36. Because you can bid for this and... Yeah, you can bid for this and still run 23 this turn. The next turn, focus on expanding. This is amazing. This is amazing. I actually think I like my deal the most of those. Because I'm good in terms of base capacity. Like, 10 capacity for your top 2 plants, that's really good for a 5-player game. I have no money now, granted, but next turn I can build to 5 and stay there. At least I should be able to. I think the play for me now is to buy 2 coal instead of the uranium. I think that's the play. So I actually want to run the 20 this turn, and then next turn pivot to nuclear. I think will be my play. And what's funny is I'll actually still be below Wishmaker in the turn order next turn as well, so I can still build over here instead of Santa Fe, and that way I'll be able to afford to get to 5. Okay. Like 2 more coal for the 20. This is just straight up like cheaper than the uranium even. Really weird. I'm running the 20 to preserve uranium. Like, 36 would have been a really bad plant for me, though, to pair with the 20, so... I'm happy with what I've got. This game definitely looks to be set up for a market stall. I feel like Mastaba is probably going to be in the lead here by not buying a plant. Basically, what this game comes down to is how much the market will stall. All this on the 4th turn of the game. What the hell? What the hell, Power Grid? I'm really glad I recorded this one. Holy shit. Like, I never quite know what to do in these kinds of markets. See, here we go. So, commence the stall. This is what I was hoping for with 34 there. So basically, what this game will come down to is whether the market stalls enough to prevent Mastaba from winning, because Mastaba clearly is going to be the richest of all of us. He paid a lot for 26, which looks like a really bad value compared to all these other plants. But he, by virtue of not buying a plant last turn, he was able to actually power 5 versus the rest of us powering, you know, only like 3, mostly. So he has a clear money lead. Clear money lead, really good situation for builds. So... $20 is turning out to be a really good value too, actually, with coal staying this cheap. Although, with Wishmaker pivoting to 36, it's probably not going to stay cheap for too long. Luckily, that means he'll stop running 23, so then uranium can get cheaper for my 34, and I can pivot to that. Yeah. But this is the situation. As I mentioned, Mastaba has the most money of all of us right now, and also with the strong endgame plant in 26. But he might have a capacity problem if the market continues to stall. Ooh, I can get Santa Fe and New Orleans. I think I do that. Because Mastaba is the player I want to block. Let me make sure I have exactly enough money for this, right? Thank you, cheap coal. Bam. That's the dream build right there. Can't believe that worked. So that sets me up to compete with Mastaba out in the West, which has value, since I see him as one of the main threats to win this game right now. Again, that may seem weird given his plants versus some of ours, but he has the clear money lead. And even in a 5-player game, I think people underestimate how important that money lead is. JVis builds to 6, which I think is a mistake, because, I mean, I get that he probably wanted to... Like, you shouldn't have oil on your 3 at this stage of the game anyway, I think. But if he already had it, then I guess he needed to build so he could burn it. And once again, a bunch of crap here. Mastaba might buy 18, but nah. I don't think he needs... Mastaba, he doesn't need 18 right now, because if he wanted to break a stall, which I don't think he does because he's sitting at bottom in the turn order right now, if he for some reason wanted to break a stall, he already has coal stored in the 8, so he could just fire that, build to 7, power 7 cities with his current plants. 18's not going to do anything for him right now, with him having 26 already there with 5 cities, so. The nice thing is, oil's getting really expensive, so that's hurting Mastaba a lot. Like, that's probably going to hurt him a lot in the long run if 32 continues to be a thing, which it will, it seems. We have 30 on the market as of now. Let's see whether that holds up. Like, there's no more higher plants left in the deck. Every other plant left is guaranteed to be lower than 37 at least. I think what I do now... I don't think I buy coal this turn. I don't think I buy coal this turn. I think I wait one more turn since Mastaba bought this extra coal that it seems like he's not going to use, not yet anyway. And I can wait for next turn and see if I can get coal a little bit cheaper, just to store on the 20 for later. I'm just picking my spots for that. Plus, I would like to make it a little more expensive for Wishmaker here. That 36 is going to be a monster. So I'm really trying to make sure to stay below Wishmaker at all costs. And that's good. Like, I already have my cities for step 1. I'm not going to build past this. Not yet. Not until the stall's broken. I'm just going to stay where I'm at here. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I was able to get some turns out of the 20 there with the cheap coal to hit 36 a little bit here. There's Wishmaker looking for a build. There we go. There we go. Yeah, he really wants to build to at least to 6 so he can get a little more value out of the 36. Staying at 5 cities, he just does so much worse than me when it comes to money. And also much worse, also is worse on turn order. So there's incentive for him to build. Mastaba is the player with the most power to break the stall, but his problem is he has like no incentive to break the stall at all because he's sitting at the very bottom of the turn order here. I'd look to see what I can do next turn. Since I have access to the West Coast, I might consider seeing if I can build a 10 or something, because I have all these cities in the Southwest open. And there's, well, another good plant. Also, do note that in the... yeah. I don't want to even touch 25. I trust that other players will bid this up. This is useful for amitss because he's gonna, like amitss, he's gonna want to break out of the oil vortex for now. So 25 is a lot of value for him. He just needs like a second good plant anyway, in general. JVis, amitss, Mastaba, like all those players can really use this plant. And Mastaba has the most incentive to bid because he has all that coal stored in the 8 there. I have to see about builds. Okay, so I don't think I'm gonna quite have enough yet to build a 10. This is gonna go over 40, isn't it? I mean, at this point of the game, it should, because again, we're at risk of a stall here. 30 is actually not all that likely to come. There's only 3 plants left in the deck that can put 30 up on there. Just 31, 33, and 35. That's it. So this plant has a lot of value right now, even though it may not seem like it. Because we've gone through so many of the big plants like that. Exactly like that. Okay. That's why 25 was worth a lot of money. There's a bunch of stuff like that left in this deck. I might be able to build to 10 this turn. Whoa, really? Really? Really, JVis? Really now? I mean, trash is so cheap, I get it. Ooh, this is the monster right here. This is the monster. We have to bid for this. And amitss needs this plant too. Alright, we're gonna fight for this sucker. I think that was a little too cheap, honestly. So here's me with the going for the early capacity strategy. So now at this point, I don't even need to worry about storing coal, really. I mean, I can buy a little bit. That was really cheap for 30, I feel. Really cheap. Because, yeah, we may never see another 6 plant again. Before step 3. And what's really nice is, this 30 here that I'm sitting on, I'm just going to store all the $2 trash here. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll just store all the $2 trash, the $1 and $2 trash on my 30 for safekeeping. Get a $3 coal. And get my uranium. Actually, I'll just buy the coal now. And the trash. Yeah. Just to store it for later. So this is actually really good for me because I have this 34, and 34 is kind of protecting my other plants here. Because we're only using 2 uranium per turn. Uranium is staying consistent at the $5-6 price range. $5-6 electros, technically. And that's just super, super cheap to power 5 cities. So efficient. And so I can kind of detour to store resources on my less efficient plants. Like, just... it lets me pick my spots, is what I'm saying. Wishmaker not storing extra coal on 36, I think, is a mistake. Like, you know you're going to be stuck at the top of the turn order. Well, Mastaba at least had to pay a lot of money for 26 and 25. He is making a lot of money off of those. A lot of money. So I get to be second from bottom now. Yay. I still think Mastaba is the biggest threat in this game. And definitely made the right move building now to try to break a stall. Well, 24, so we already know that nothing super good's gonna come. There's not much of a point for Mastaba to buy 24 because I'm the big threat with 16 capacity. I got all my plants fairly cheap too. 30 was the most expensive, but even that wasn't that much. $35. Well, that's one of the big plants right there wasted because it doesn't put 31 up on onto the market. He will buy 24 though. Interesting. At this stage, there's actually not too many other plants that are worse than 24. 14, 16, 22 are the duds left. 21 is okay. A little worse. Well, yeah, a little worse than 24, I guess. Probably comparable. 21 and 24 are comparable. 29 is a bit better than 24, obviously. 33 would be the one that would, like, like, if 33 were to drop, that puts 31 onto the market. Wishmaker bids. Okay, actually, this makes sense. This does make sense for Wishmaker here. Because of having a 7 plant. 7, 4, 3, that gets him to 14, but, like, 7, 4 is 11. 11 is a good base capacity. This also makes me very happy I stored my trash when I did. Mastaba still bids for 24, huh. If I were him, I'd just let it go now. But I think Mastaba may not track the plants, so he may not be aware of the situation here. Oh! The Stone Cold Killer there, 14. Worst plant in the game. And nobody else is going to buy anything the rest of this turn. I do think Wishmaker, I think, should have maybe fought a little harder for that for safety. But, yeah. Now in step 3. I mean, not step 3, in step 2. With step 2 now. Yeah, I don't even know what I was going to say. amitss does buy 15, which is interesting. I kind of get it because 6-3 base capacity is acceptable for 5-player. That puts 21 on the market, so it's a little bit interesting. Remember, we play with the full deck of plants in 5 and 6 player. We do not remove any plants from the deck, so there actually are still 4 remaining before step 3. So should be, hopefully, enough time for me to build up my cash reserves and end the game. Okay, I think I know what my play is here. Just buy the 1 uranium, and I'm not, don't run the 20 again until the end of the game. I think that's what we do. $30 is going to be much more cost efficient and much safer to run than 20. So that's just clearly the better plant to run in every level. And now Wishmaker will use 23 again, but now we're in step 2. Uranium restock rate goes up to 3 per turn. So with these 3 nuclear plants in the game, uranium actually will still stay consistent in the 4, 5, 6 price range. So again, no problem for me there. And Santa Fe is really valuable to me right now because that gives me like a lot of options for builds to end the game in step 2. I need to get to 15. Question is, can I get to 15 in the next turn after this? I may not be able to. And amitss clearly knows that he has to block me. Like, I should be considered the biggest threat in this game right now. For sure. Ooh! I know what I can do. Here's what I can do. We're going to expand north. Take Omaha because it's cheap. Ooh, I know what I can do. Ooh. That's what I can do. Just build to 9, but make it so that'll get me up into the West Coast. That's crucial. I need to lock up the West Coast right now. That's, I think, what would give me the most value at this point. Since the East Coast is mostly blocked already, I don't see a lot of value in going into Chicago in that area at this point. Yeah. So now this is going to make it really hard to block me. I need 6 more cities next turn to end the game. I don't think I can afford that, though. Don't think I can afford that. In fact, I'm almost positive I can't. Yeah. At this stage, with the market being stalled, I will gladly build into Mastaba. And, like, Wishmaker is the other player I need to block. Although, not Wishmaker, I mean, Mastaba would be the threat of anyone, because Mastaba has the 2nd highest capacity and has a good amount of money. So he would be the threat to end the game. So what I would have to do is... This is our issue, though. This is our problem. Ooh, Wishmaker has a lot more money than me. Capacity is his problem, though. Mastaba's pretty decently bottled up, though. Yeah. Building into Santa Fe, my city. Wishmaker making a play for that. I mean, I can build to 12 next turn. That's no problem. I can easily prevent Wishmaker from ending the game. Problem now would be Mastaba. Mastaba's the issue here. Because I feel like if I can't end the game this next turn, I think Mastaba will end it on... Yeah, Mastaba will end the game on at 14 and probably beat me, so... what's the next one? 29. Oh, 29 came. Okay. Well, 2/3 chance of a complete dud coming after this. And Wishmaker's not going to get anything higher than 4, which is good news. Actually, never mind. If Wishmaker can... Hold on, what am I going to say here? If Wishmaker... I mean, Mastaba and Wishmaker, if they end up both at 14, that's likely going to prevent either of them from ending the game, which would then give it to me on the following turn. Okay, I can get to 14, but not more. Well, there's 22. This is perfect now. Although JVis might buy one of these plants just to try to move the market. Luckily, JVis is so far from the West Coast that he's not going to be a threat to block me. JVis could block... JVis is probably... Well, will JVis even build, though, is the question. Will JVis even build? All right. JVis buying extra uranium. It does make sense in this situation since Wishmaker and I are two of the leaders in the game and we're both using our nuclear plants. So. Question is, will JVis build or not? Because what I need is this. I need to establish territory. And West Coast is going to be the best way to do that. Need to establish territory to end the game next turn, if there is a next turn. But what I'd like to do is make it to 14. Because if 3 players are all at 14, that's going to discourage, I think, any of them from ending the game. Thing is... even if 14 is built out of the game, that's not going to leave anything good on the market because 16 will come in. It's going to be 16 and 33 are the last 2 plants left. We're not going to get the step 3 auction in the next turn. Yeah. One way or another, I think this is looking to be another 5-player game that will end. It's on track to end before the step 3 auction. Wishmaker might end it this turn, maybe. Also, I'm really glad I bought all that cheap trash when I had the chance. Okay, JVis is going to block me here. That makes sense. Good play. Good play. I definitely build Seattle, Portland, Denver. Anyway. The nice thing is that step 3 builds are going to start next turn because of this. All right. I think what I'm going to do is block Wishmaker here. Make this. I'll make Phoenix my 13th city. Yeah, do that. Make it costlier for him to end the game. Since I can't build 2 more anyway, I think this will be the most productive single city left for me to build, because it directly blocks the player who I would see as the biggest threat to end the game right now. Basically, if the game ends this turn, I lose. If the game doesn't end this turn, I win. Oh no, Wishmaker's going to win the game. Fuck. Mastaba's builds got blocked. Never mind. We fucked this up. Because Mastaba can't build. Wishmaker wins it. God damn it. This game was going to be mine next turn, but it's his now. It's his now. He just needs 2 more cities. He's going to get it. Congrats to the Wishmaker. Congratulations. So once again, maxing out early capacity does not win in 5-player. See? I really thought this time I was going to win it, too. Really thought I was going to win it this time. Oh my god, Mastaba jumping into Boston would have been amazing. But yeah, Mastaba could have only built into San Francisco and Boston. Everywhere else left is blocked. I don't know why Wishmaker's taken this long of a time. If he builds 15, he wins the game now. And I assume he has to be able to afford to get to 15. What? 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 Never mind, I am going to win this game now. Wow. 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 I did not think this was going to work. Definitely not going to run the 20 because people will buy out coal on me, no question. So I'm just going to run 34 and 30 because those plants are completely safe. I will be guaranteed 3 trash and a uranium on the next turn no matter what. And I'm going to win the game. I'll only need 3 more cities. I'm with as widespread as I am throughout this map, I'll have 3 more cities somewhere, guaranteed. Because these people, I think not all these people realize, 16 is going to come in the next turn. Wait, what? Oh, did I miss 16? I thought 16 was still in the deck. When did I miss that? Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Okay, now it gets interesting. Huh. Well, we do get to the step 3 auction after all. Never mind. What the hell? I missed tracking somewhere. I thought 16 was still in the deck. Okay. Ooh, that's a good drop. Well, no. Never mind. JVis has to buy something. We're all going to pass. None of these plants do anything for me now, since I already have 556. Wishmaker? Nah, we'll pass. I was hoping Wishmaker would get stuck with a 5 plant. Ooh, even worse. Oh my god. Wishmaker, wow. That's like supreme bad luck right there. Wishmaker has to buy a 4. Has to buy a 4. That just completely kills him. He's out of the running for this game now with that drop. Really unlucky. Really unlucky drop there. 2 of the awful green plants in a row, and this is a stacked step 3 market too. Now what's interesting about this is I don't know why Wishmaker didn't end it last turn. And Wishmaker will settle for 15 here. So guaranteed to finish below me. Mastaba could get a big drop and still win potentially. That's the problem here. Now, granted, his builds are not the greatest, but he does get first build here for step 3. Anyway, I obviously pass on all this crap. Never mind, that means I win. No, amitss passed? 2? I thought amitss might buy a plant and try to at least go for 16. Wow, I should not have won this game. I can't believe this. I cannot fucking believe. I'm the only player with 16 capacity after the goddamn step 3 auction. Oh my god. That's every plant below 6 capacity was the one that dropped. Mastaba could have gotten... I assume Mastaba could have won the game if he'd gotten a 7 plant. That was stupidly lucky. Stupidly lucky win. I miscalculated the number of plants left in the deck. I didn't think step 3 auction was going to come. It did, and then it was the worst step 3 auction ever. Holy shit. I should, man. I should go down to the friggin' casino here the way I'm running in these 5-player games. Jesus. So yeah, as you can see, the way I played this, going for the big plants early, it's not an optimal strategy if the game lasts long. But if the game stalls really hard, then it can win. What a weird game. What a weird game. Yeah. Masaba's going to end up with the most money when all's said and done, I think. Anyway, I just build in some shit here, whatever, yeah. And that's the ball game. Again, stupidly lucky for me. I keep winning when I go for early capacity, and when it shouldn't work. The last game, the last 5-player game I recorded on here, I shouldn't have won that one either, and I played similarly to this one. That game, it was amitss being weird and not fighting hard enough for capacity when he had a lot of money. This time, it was Wishmaker not ending the game with just 2 more cities left to build. And he had options open. He had to jump for them, but he had options open. Alright. And that's it. I win now. So yeah, my builds, I was focusing on blocking Wishmaker, and it looks like that just barely made the difference. It stopped him from ending last turn. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, interesting. Mastaba wasn't as rich as I thought. I mean, he could have gotten to 17, but he wasn't as rich as I thought. So Mastaba's was $32 ahead of me. He bought 44. He likely would have had to pay more money for the plant, but had to build another city. But I think Mastaba probably would have slightly beaten me. He would have slightly beaten me, for sure, if he were able to get a 6 capacity plant. So that was a stupidly lucky win for me. All right. Really interesting game. These 5-player games, the ones I've been recording, they've turned out pretty good, I think. I mean, granted, I've won a lot of those on the channel. I've been really lucky in those, but still, I do think there's more depth to 5-player than it gets credit for. Like, there were, a number of players who could have potentially won that. It wasn't one-sided at all. So, anyway, see you later.